I know. I love it. I almost teared up. I had to get up and move around a little bit. I'm like, what can I do? Get the mic now. Beautiful. Those are her colors. Those are truly her colors. I look at the sky when I'm driving up here and I see the birds. And can you see all the colors in nature? It's just amazing. So we know that there's a power bigger than us and it colors our world. So I want to start with almost a commercial, if you will. I've been kind of working to expand our spirituality more around mental and emotional wellness too. Because I have learned that if my emotional and my mental state is off kilter, God, who? So it's almost, if we don't know that that's a trinity, that mind, that body, and that soul, that spirit, how do we color ourselves? So I went to an overdose prevention awareness in my city, where my center is in Dothan, and their colors were purple and gold, which is Happy Academy colors, my company. They're sunshine and amethyst, I called it. But they had the same colors. And what I'm promoting at my center in Mind Body Wellness, and I'll leave this with you, we call our workshop coming up, and we're starting it already, when it's more than just the blues. And it's on National Suicide Prevention Awareness, because it's too often times that we don't think about God. We just want the pain to go away, and we don't know to give that pain to God. What are we doing with it? So I will leave these with you. And the colors for suicide awareness prevention is purple and aqua. So purple is a prosperity color. I think we know that. And gold, that's just sunshine. And I've decided that the aqua color that they came up with is the ocean. And that goes so far and so deep and so wide. It's where I decide to live. Every time I go visit those waters, those colors, it's like there is something bigger than me, and I trust it. So that is a color start. And I am wearing my rainbow dress because I have a granddaughter. I think the day that she was supposed to be coming home, I was actually here that year, Mother's Day weekend, and she's now 9, if you can believe that. So when she was little, I would ask her what her favorite color was. A friend of mine said, "What's your granddaughter's favorite color?" She was about 2 or 3. And so she'd come over and we'd be in the kitchen, and I said, "Lyric, what's your favorite color?" And she said a color. Let's say she said blue the first time. And the consistent person, the habit person that I am, I wanted to see if that was her color the next time. So about 2 weeks later, she comes over to visit. I said, "Lyric, what's your favorite color?" And she says a different color. Let's say she says pink. I'm like, "I thought you said it was blue, but it's pink now, Grandmommy." So one more time I asked. She said, "Grandmommy, stop asking me that question. I like all the colors." So when I saw this dress, I said, "This has got enough of all the colors. This will be my lyric dress." But it's actually like a rainbow dress. And I'm going to be talking about the chakras, because if you can't tell, the chakras are the rainbow colors. And that's where our colors show up. What's happening in this body is what's going to show up out there in the world. So I've got a couple of questions to get our talk going. And it's, are you guarding your inner feelings or your hurt or your pain? You don't have to answer out loud. Can hurt or pain be avoided in life? So I ask, what do you do with that adversity when it does come? Because I believe that you can't escape life without pain. We got here that way, actually. If you don't, you won't remember, but your mama will. I'm not sure about daddy with how they feel. But there is pain just even coming to the planet. And mommy forgets that pain. A true mommy forgets that pain almost right after they look at that baby. Now, if they don't want the baby, that's not a true mommy. So we're talking about true colors because we can go into our faded, dull colors. That's that female that didn't want the baby or trashed the baby or what baby? And the baby's somewhere, we don't even know where. So I know that our colors can be really bright like this dress, or we can lose our color based on what's happening in our lives. We don't know what happened with that mommy to get pregnant. There's a movie I want to talk about to get into our colors a little is the Trolls. I actually brought one of my little stuffed animals with me because when the movie came out, it was the year Lyric was born. So she thinks this is her doll, but it's really grandmommy's doll too. But Poppy, you see all her colors? Look at her colors. Poppy was so happy. Let me pull her dress down. That's not nice. But Poppy had all these colors. So Poppy's movie is about happiness. And you know, my company is Happy Academy. And the logo in my company, or my ministry really, is the sun, the moon, the lighthouse in the middle with all 7 chakras going through it. So had color in it. The same year Lyric was born, Happy Academy was born. So the movie was about happiness and how the sad people were called the Bergens and they didn't have any color. And they had to eat one of these to have color. So Poppy didn't want them to eat one of her people. I wouldn't want anybody to eat you. It's like, I'm going to have him for breakfast so I can be happy. And then I'm going to have you for dinner so I can be happy again. And then tomorrow we'll start all over with you. That's what they had to do. So these trolls had to get away from that sadness, that madness. So 20 years later, the king hands over the kingdom to Poppy, and Poppy wants to celebrate. We hadn't been eaten by one of those dark creatures in 20 years. Well, this party wakes up the darkness. And the darkness comes and gets some of Poppy's people to eat. So Poppy's going to go help rescue them all by herself. And Poppy's got a sad one in her village who lost all his color. Every troll had color but this one. And we know why, because he had a devastation in his life. They tell us later that he lost his grandmother singing, so he stopped singing. And that lost his color. But he saw Poppy off by herself, so he wasn't going to let that happen. So here they go, the colorless one and the colorful one, off to save the ones that are about to be eaten. What happens in that story is there's one of them that's going to give up the rest of them to save their butt. Don't we have that in our lives? We'll have a troll turn against a troll to save themselves. Adversity is going to come. They tell us even in childhood that adversity is going to come. So here comes this little troll that decides he's going to give up everybody to save his life. Now everybody's captured. Guess who loses her color? Poppy. The most colorful one of all. And when she loses her color, guess what happens to everybody who's been captured, which is a whole village? Everybody loses their color. That tells us metaphorically that wherever it is, it goes down, it trickles. So if I'm sad, I'm going to have a sad population. If I'm happy, I'm going to have a happy population. But that sadness and that happiness doesn't come from me by myself, because guess who brings her color back? The one that lost his color. He sings the song True Colors in that movie. And he tells her what she has been to that village, and without her, they wouldn't be happy at all this long. And when her color came back, the entire village color came back. They ended up being able to tell these dark, colorless people who thought they had to eat somebody to get colorful. They taught them that happiness is inside of you. All you gotta do is get up and dance, and then the song came on, Can't Stop the Feeling. You know, it's all in the music. That's why I love Penelope. I used to be a groupie. Where was she performing? I was there. Because there's something about the music and the dancing. And as soon as the Bergens, that's who the dark people were, as soon as they started dancing, they were happy too. They didn't know they didn't have to eat somebody to be happy. People, we don't have to devour anyone to be happy. We don't have to be envious of them. We don't have to be jealous of them. We don't have to say, hi girl, how you doing? We don't have to do those things. There's a song by Billy Joel that I love. I lived in New York for some years, and I didn't know Billy Joel was born in the Bronx. Born in the Bronx and lived in Long Island. I still think he lives offshore, New York somewhere. Where? Oyster Bay? Somebody's a fan. Somebody's a Billy Joel fan. And his song, New York State of Mind, it's just nothing like it. And when I lived in New York, and every time I hear it, I think about my New York years, because I thought I was going to live in the city, but I think I like Chicago better. Don't tell nobody. But I like that song because I lived there, and I love it. The skyline has changed a lot since I lived there. We'll talk about that in a second too. But one of the things that Billy does in his writing, he talks about states of mind. You can see his journey in his songs, and with his loves, with his hurts, with his changes. Life is very spiritual for everyone. Everything that we do, all our work is spiritual, whether we realize it or not, from a janitor to the president of the United States. It's a spiritual life that we're living. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and our experience can be happy or not. And we choose, because it really comes from inside us, even if we have the worst devastations that happen to us, because I don't think it gets more cruel than slavery or the Holocaust. I really don't. I can't. You know, loss of a baby, yes. Murder, yes. But it's something about that intentional slavery of enough Holocaust of the number of people. We get not happy. Bergen. Simple as that. If you go back to their childhood, every one of these tyrants got beat up little. Every one of them. There was no happy. We want to create happy. If someone beats you up, don't do it back. I know that that can come through, like I said, our song, some of the components that I think Billy wrote about that I see in the habits too when I talk about our foundation. You know, genetically, it's things we inherit. They're in there. You know, I kind of look like I look because mommy and daddy and aunts and uncles and cousins and whoever, you know. You can go back in that gene pool. Where'd she get that? And she's like, oh, Uncle so-and-so had that, you know. So it can be genetic. Psychic is our upbringing. What we heard all day, every day. You're late, you're late, you're late. You're on time, you're on time, you're on time. You're slow, you're slow, you're slow. You're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid. You're happy, you're happy, you're happy. Psychic. And the environment, our surroundings. So if we were surrounded by poverty-minded, less lack thinking, what do you think is seeping in? So I know that a lot of it comes from, you know, just negative paradigms, just what our parents did. They didn't get happy, so they became colorless, and they passed on that colorlessness generation after generation, unless they listened to that spirit that is their own color. My color is blue today, grandmommy. My color is pink today. So we can have different days of colors, is what she told me. I might be on a blues tip today for some reason. And I mean the blues where I'm sad, where I'm not happy. And what we're going to talk about in our workshop is that when it's more than just a little unhappiness. Because that's real. People, I think we ignore subjects that we don't want to talk about, and we put a stigma on it. And once you put a stigma on something, like divorce was a stigma back in the day. Now we're how many times have they been divorced? Ask Elizabeth. Elizabeth Taylor kept getting married and divorced. But divorce was a stigma at one point. So I think mental health and emotional health is raising that stigma. To thine own self be true. We have to be that. That's our true colors. When we are true to ourselves, even if we're upset that day, not feeling that well, we're just not showing our colors, that's all. Or we're showing our dull colors. We're not happy. Let me tell you what the colors of the rainbow of the chakras are. The very first color in the rainbow, let me see, my notes are not in order. Here we go. The root chakra, so we're going to start at the bottom of the spine. That color is red. It's the element of the earth. And it gives us grounding, security, and stability. Are those feelings? Have you ever had those strong, stable feelings, or you've had unstable, like you're moving somewhere, or even when a baby's coming, or new job? A new job can make you feel unstable. It's like, so our root chakra really gives us stability, and it's a foundational energy. The next chakra is the sacral, S-A-C-R-A-L, sacral. And that color is orange, and it's in our lower abdomen, and it's linked to the element of water. And it is associated with creativity, emotion, and sexuality for all you couples and wannabe couples in the air. That's where that chakra comes from. And it's in the pelvic region. It's for pleasure and emotional expression. The next one is in the upper abdomen. The color is yellow, and it is the solar plexus chakra. And it is linked to confidence, personal power, and self-esteem. We've got to have self-esteem out here. Somebody's like, well, you're ugly, so what? I'm ugly. How about that? When you have self-esteem, it doesn't matter. But if you don't, you're done. You're toast. And you're either overdosing or hurting someone or hurting yourself at that point, because now you're not worthy, you feel. So that solar plex chakra is very important. That confidence is needed in our lives. Just to remember to go to God. Just remembering, that, I don't have this, God's got this. So a heart chakra is next. It's green. It's linked to the element of air. It governs love and compassion and relationships. That's the social emotional part. I say mind, body, soul, but then the social emotional aspect is who we let close to us. Who we let come in our home, who we let come in this home, who we let come in this home. Because this is a kingdom too. So who do we let in our heart? Sometimes we can let them in that door, but they don't get in here. So once they get in here, that's when some of the color could fade if we find that they're colorless too, because they might be trying to suck our color. Throat chakra, I like that one. That's where the color blue is. I did a talk on out of the blue because all our messages come out of here, out of that throat. So the throat chakra is associated with the element of ether. Isn't that interesting? Because ether just goes out into the world. So watch what we say. Watch what we think and do. It's linked to communication, self-expression, and the truth, which, Happy Academy was born from Pharrell's song, Happiness is the Truth. I'm happy. So I love that. The third eye chakra is right above the eyebrow. It's indigo color. It is our intuition, our insight, and our spiritual awareness. So you see, as we go up, we go higher into that element that connects with our higher self, whatever we want to call it. And then the crown chakra. Let's read what that one says. The crown chakra is at the top of the head. And the color is violet. Now, how in the world did the violet color, that purple color, get to the top? I'm wondering whether these people that developed these colors for these events that we're supporting with mind, body, soul awareness has that color purple at the top. It's important for us to know that our colors are important to us. We want to take care of ourselves personally. And I think when we take care of ourselves personally, that's our mind, body, and our soul. Really is habit 7. Sharpen the saw. I wear a little saw on my bracelet to remind me to take care of myself mentally, physically, spiritually, and social emotionally. Those are my colors. If my color's a little dull, I usually sleep it off or pray it off. First I pray, then I go to sleep. I think the prayer puts me to sleep or something, especially if it's pretty heavy. If it's not that heavy, I can go on and do the laundry or whatever, right? All of that. So these are the things I want us to know about our personal color account, if you want to call it that now, but our emotional account, our personal investment in ourselves, our color, staying bright. I don't just put this in the washing machine, it goes somewhere so the colors can stay bright. How do we keep our colors bright? We don't break promises to ourselves. We keep them. We're impeccable with our word. I love this book, The 4 Agreements. Be impeccable with your word. That's helps you keep your colors. Even if somebody's beating you up, your color might dull for a little because rainbows come and go, but you don't get a rainbow without a little rain. So something's happening. So keep your promise. Don't beat yourself up. Be honest with yourself. Don't wear yourself out. We will do that. We'll be doing for others and doing for others and doing for others, and then we're not here no more. What happened to her? We have to take care of ourselves first. That all those years of flying with IBM was helpful. Put the oxygen mask on me first. I could have lyric with me, but I'm supposed to put it on me first. So everyone, your colors are in your oxygen mask and your colors. We don't badmouth anyone. One of the things, if we were looking at ourselves from the habit point of view, when I close out a workshop, I'll close out our talk with this. And it's a little dated. I'm going to have to update some of the things. If we were taking care of ourselves physically, we would be exercising, eating healthy, sleeping well, relaxing. So if on a physical tip, assume you've had a heart attack in the last month. How would you approach exercise and nutrition? You'd do it a little bit different, right? And we'd have dialogue around that. And then the mental is our brain, our education, what we write about, learning new skills, maintaining the old ones. Assume the knowledge of the skills that we have, if we're still out here working, and even when we retire, we start a new life. What if they become obsolete within 2 years? What they can do is become obsolete in 6 months. these days. That's what the update is. It's like it used to take 2 years for something to roll around, but now something can roll around new in the next 6 months, if not sooner. So, what are we doing? I think this teaching being of the presence of mind that there's a power bigger than us, let us not worry about something like that. Any of it. You know, we do have to physically get up out of bed and do our thing. But after that, when we start to feed ourselves, I think every path that each of us take is our own lesson, is our own journey, is our own career. We don't take those journeys by accidents. A doctor is a doctor for a reason. It might be because his dad was, but it was in his house. You know, mechanics pass that on, police officers, ministers, you know, a teacher. My family, I didn't even really know growing up, came from Nigeria for education, and that's been the biggest thing in my life, and I never even met the people. So it's even in our DNA, kind of sort of what we're on track to do. We have our assignments from God. We have our colors that God give us. Penelope was, she might be doing other things, but playing that piano, it seems to make her happy because it makes me happy. So I think when we're doing what makes us happy, our colors show. We don't age. It's like, are you? Because I'm like, make sure you give me my senior citizen discount. You know, it's like I used to run from that. Now it's like, oh, you're a senior. Yes, I am. You know. So I think when we're mentally well, we look well, we learn more, we do better. Social emotional is the heart that's building the relationships. That's our personal color account or bank account. So assume that what you say about a person, they heard, no matter where you are. We can build or we can tear down relationships, even not in the presence of the person. Because remember I told you about that throat chakra? It goes out into the ether. So if we're bad-mouthing, it's going out into the ether. So how would we choose our words differently? And then the last one, spiritually, is our soul. Do we take time to just pause? Don't do nothing. Don't act on anything negative or positive. Just pause. Let God bring the answer to us. Do you keep a journal? I do. I call it scripting now because I want to script my life. I want to let it know I want to be happy. I want to be kind. I want to be courageous in the tough, adverse times. So assume you had 1 year to live. What legacy would you want to leave? So we can live from those places. The place that I live, that I go to, and it's prayer. We say that, affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment. That's my color. If I had to pick a color, that's my color because it makes me happy. It helps me to be peaceful. It gives me courageousness. It's like that over there. I mean, the colors keep going and going and going. So I want you to sync up with your innermost thoughts as I close out with a richer living prayer that I put my spin on. Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker wrote most of it, but I kind of put some Angela-ism on it. So as we close out, the action of God fills my life, and take every I or me for yourself. There is one power. It is a purposeful power, and you and I are one with it in the color of love. We are divine intelligence that has always known what to do and when to do it. It now knows why it created me, and it is bringing me to my full destiny, as it is everyone that's on the sound of my voice and beyond. All of the action of God is where I am, and it is in action through me at every instance. What I need is seeking me, and what I am is all God, because God made me. Infinite mind colors me and makes me full. I have all I need and all I want. It is the creation that impels me into right action and everyone around me. This perfect action is mine within me that governs and directs my pathway to blessedness. All health is flowing through me. God's health is complete. I'm incapable of experiencing disease. Vitality quickens my body and strengthens me unlimitedly. Fatigue cannot operate in me today. I am strong in truth and I am vitalized by it. I accept the perfect action of God as health, and I radiate this to others. My strength is sufficient in every demand of life. Prosperity is in full action in all my affairs. Business is good, for business is circulatory action of God. It's a spiritual, economic life we're living. I accept money as the activity of spirit and I use it wisely. I accept the freedom that money gives me and I rejoice in the inflow and the outflow of it. Good ideas circulate in my consciousness and divine inspiration gives me new ideas in the keenness of discernment. I am in full action with God in my life. Perfect peace, perfect love, perfect joy. I am conscious and maintained in praise and harmony. Order greets me wherever I go, and I'm balanced by truth. And the words that I speak give evidence of it in the conviction that God acts through me, acts through you, acts through us. And we are grateful. And so it is.